my main goals is just controlling what I can. Understanding whatever situation I'm drafted in, I'm going to be blessed to be picked there.
Welcome into another special edition of the NFL on Fox podcast. I am your host, Dave Helman, and as we've been doing all spring, we are back in your feed with another preview for the 2024 NFL Draft, continuing our interview series with the prospects of this year's draft. We've had them all through the spring. We're going to keep having them as long as we go up to the NFL Draft in Detroit on April 25th, so make sure you're subscribed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, in addition to all of our regular shows. We're bringing you the actual prospects that are about to go through the 2024 NFL Draft. And we got a big one today, the money position, the QB, South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler joins me. Spencer, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
We were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. It's that hectic time of year. I mean, we're in LA right now. Can you kind of keep track of it all? And just in terms of the demands on your attention and your travel and everything?
The schedule is nice and organized. We are ready to roll.
You just checking each box as you go, right?
That's right.
I want to start with this, man, because not only do I cover football, I'm an avid college football fan. It feels weird to say I've known who you are for 6 or 7 years at this point, And what I think is interesting is I can't come up with somebody that's more used to the spotlight than you are. I mean, going all the way back, you were on the Netflix documentary QB1, major recruit, 5-star guy at Oklahoma, starter in the SEC. It just means more. And now the NFL Draft. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better prep for the spotlight that goes with the NFL. How has that prepared you for this, I guess? Just the amount of time that you have spent kind of being in the public eye.
Yeah, the last, like you said, 6-7 years, have been blessed to be in that light, since a young age, being a recruit, going to a big time program and then, having some success, having some adversity and going to another big time program. So, it's definitely, it has me ready for this next level. I truly feel like I'm prepared, in that area and excited for the jump.
I think that's an interesting point. Because, it's a cliche. You get these amazing college football players. They were amazing in high school. They get to the NFL, and adversity is going to hit. Mm-hmm. And it is interesting, the adversity that you've gone through, even up to this point. How, starting at Oklahoma, leaving Oklahoma, going through the ups and downs of South Carolina. How do you think your journey has prepared you? I don't want to say better because, no two journeys are the same, but you're no stranger to what's coming in the NFL in terms of adversity.
Yes, sir. I think especially at the quarterback position, you're going to hit adversity if you want it or not, especially in the NFL. So being able to go through that and come out on the other side successful, I think that helped me, doing that in my college career. And that's going to set me up to, go on to this next level. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be working. Got to work my butt off. It's a total restart, brand new to the facility, but ready to get to work and, going to be happy wherever I'm at.
Do you get feedback about that? These interviews that these teams do, they're so thorough. Do they want to know the story of your career, how you responded to things, how you bounce back at South Carolina? Do they dig into that stuff when they talk to you?
Usually when they ask you, they already know the answer. So you kind of just keep going over it with the teams, and they just want to get to know you. And every interview, every visit, private workout I've had has been amazing. Very positive. It's been fun.
Okay, that's another thing on my sheet. I'm just going to jump to it because this is something that's always amused me is us in the media, those of us on the outside, we're 2-ish weeks away from the NFL Draft, and people like me are on camera saying Spencer Rattler's he could be a late riser in the draft, or whatever. Meanwhile, these teams have known who you are for years. They've watched every snap you've played. They have relationships with your coaches at both of your schools. I think we are so far behind the curve when it comes to what's actually happening in the draft process. What kind of feedback are you getting about that? And does it match up at all with what you might spot on social media or TV?
That's a good question. Obviously teams, look at prospects differently than media. So there is a difference in that for sure. But, everything has been good feedback. I'm happy. My main goals is just controlling what I can. Understanding whatever situation I'm drafted in, I'm going to be blessed to be picked there. My goals throughout this process were to just attack every day, and all the big time events we had with the Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, all these meetings, interviews, visits. I just want to give my 100% effort and accomplish my goals through those and get to where I want to be here in 3 weeks.
I do want to make sure to shout you out. Senior Bowl MVP, went down to Mobile, balled out, had a great week. I'm always interested in the Senior Bowl just because it's the closest that we get to recreating football in the draft process. You're down there practicing against NFL guys, getting NFL coaching. Just kind of, what was your biggest takeaway from that? Whether it was the level of competition, the coaching, the conversations that you had, what kind of stuck with you from that?
It was an awesome week. I mean, one of my favorite weeks of football, going out there, so many great players you know of or know personally, played against. So really just acclimating into new relationships there with your team that week. We created great chemistry, throughout that week. And like I said, I had my goals going into that week and accomplished them and learned a ton from the NFL coaches we had. And it was a smooth transition, to the Senior Bowl, and definitely enjoyed my time down there.
I want to ask you about your fellow quarterbacks in this year's class, because these days players are close regardless, but it's interesting the bonds and the connections that you have with some of these guys. I mean, it's obviously you were briefly teammates with Caleb Williams at OU, but you went to Elite 11 with Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix.
Yep.
I think I've got it here. Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa were your counselors at the time, which it's crazy how time flies. But
yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But you've known some of the top QBs in this class for years at this point, and y'all are all about to hear your names called together. I'm curious, what are those relationships like? What are those conversations like during this time, if you have them?
When we bump into each other, it's cordial. We say what's up to everybody. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time now. So we were together at, some of us Senior Bowl, Combine. So being around those guys, it's cool, to see how all our paths are different, but we're all here now, so it's cool.
What is and you mentioned you're from Phoenix, you're training there right now. What's the day-to-day look like? I mean, I know there's a lot of travel involved right now, but just in general during this process, what does a quarterback's day look like during the draft cycle?
So a little different now to what it was the past 2 months with Combine prep. I was down at Exos, training with a big group of guys that are getting ready for the draft. So I mean, really 2 days every day, not killing your body, but getting the right work in. For me now, it's just getting the workout in every morning, throwing about 3 times a week. And then, in between that, it's always meetings or a visit or a Zoom or something like that. So like you said, a lot of traveling now, but getting in as much work as I can leading up.
You mentioned, I get it. The schedule's mapped out and down to the minute, but I mean, is it a challenge keeping this stuff straight when somebody's putting you up on the board on Tuesday and you got to go do it all over again for a new staff on Thursday?
No, I think you get better at it with reps. I mean, I've had so many reps at it at this point, starting at the Senior Bowl, going on to Combine, Pro Day. It's fun. I mean, I enjoy talking ball. That's the easy part of this, talking ball, getting to know you. And, I enjoy that truly.
It's interesting because, I mean, other than the Senior Bowl, you're not playing real football right now, but you are talking about it so much. You're meeting with so many NFL staffs. Do you feel like you've gotten more knowledgeable about the game over these last 2 or 3 months?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting in the reps, my quarterback trainer, Mike Giovando, bringing in guys like Noel Mazzoni, other former players and coaches that have knowledge about the game and just getting on the board, talking ball, learning new things, and then obviously learning a bunch of new things from these teams I'm meeting with. So going into these meetings, I have a good grasp of a lot of what they're talking about because of the offenses I was in, South Carolina being pro style, but just adding on to that, I mean, you learn so much.
This is the benefit of going second, because I know you met with Kay Adams earlier. You did an interview with her. I know you said that the Denver visit was a tough one. Sean Payton, you put you through the ringer. Is that the thing that stands out, or was there a team or a coach that really left an impression on you? Whether it was holy crap, that was tough, or wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say tough, but I mean, Coach Payton he had a very big install, very big, a lot of plays, a lot of formations, protection, stuff like that. And, he wants you to perform well at it. And, I had a good time doing it. It was a great time, studied my butt off. But all these coaches, all these teams I've been meeting with has been nothing but a blessing. I mean, all these coaches are great, and it's great creating relationships with all of them.
I swear, I'm not trying to get you. I'm not trying to get you to give anything away, but I do think I'm so curious. Like, you're meeting with a lot of teams. Some of these have more obvious quarterback needs than others. Like, when it is a team that very obviously needs to invest in this position, like, do they give you a little extra? Like, hey man, we're seriously looking at you to come in and have a shot like right away. Like, do they say stuff like that?
Some teams interview and want to visit with you more than others. But my mindset going into all these meetings, interviews, is just creating better relationships, showing them who I am, and really just taking advantage of the opportunity. Acting like this team wants to draft me, so I'm giving them my all in this interview, this visit, whatever it is.
You mentioned your quarterback coach. What's your support system look like right now? Like, who are you leaning on to help you through this?
Obviously, my family, my mom, dad, sister, my girlfriend, my crew here, Chris, Jesse, Joe, all these guys. Got a great circle of people. My QB coach, Mike Gio, trainer, Rube. So it's a tight circle, but it's family. And you need that around you, especially during these times.
Any plans for the draft?
Going to do it back home in Arizona.
Yeah? Okay.
Family, tight friends. It'll be a good time.
Okay, I got one. That was all about you, but I like to, if I can, I want you to play the scout, the guy that's evaluating, because Xavier Legette's going to hear his name called as well.
Yep.
You threw him a lot of passes over the course of y'all's career. And this, we know, I say it too much on the show, but this is a loaded receiver class.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Xavier fit in? What is a team getting with Xavier Legette when they do draft him?
Personally, I think, Zay is a top 5 receiver in this class. He has all the tools physically, 6'2", 6'3", 225, can high point the ball versus anybody. Just a complete mismatch on the field. Has amazing speed. Running a 4.3 at that size is freaky. Very smart guy. Really knows his job and takes his craft serious. So credit to him for putting in the work this offseason. We got great work in, and, we had a historic season, both of us here at South Carolina.
I cannot wait to see where both of y'all go. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Spencer Rattler, thanks for coming on, man, and good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thanks again to Spencer for dropping by the show. Make sure you go check out our feed where we have all of these interviews queued for you, talking to all sorts of prospects from all over the NFL draft class. You can find that on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, over on our YouTube channel at NFL on Fox, wherever you get your podcasts, your videos, etc. You can find our chat with Spencer, as well as with Joe Milton, with Chris Braswell, all sorts of NFL draft prospects. Make sure you check that out. Here you go. Give us a follow at NFL on Fox Pod on your social channels, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You know the drill. Appreciate it. One more time. Thanks to Spencer. We'll chat with y'all soon.